Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel for a review on the new Kurt Cobain figure from Blitzway, lead singer and songwriter of Nirvana. And this is a special piece because my early teenage years, I was obsessed with Nirvana and a bunch of other bands from the Seattle scene and all kinds of other stuff. We'll get into that during the review. I'll tell you all my stories, but never really thought we'd see this. But here it is, and it's something I'm really looking forward to reviewing. It's something different. It's not a Michael Myers figure, it's not, werewolf, it's not a Batman figure, it's not a dinosaur model. It's a rock star, an iconic rock star from, my, teenage years, and a very special piece. And it looks like Blitzway have gone above and beyond with this. The presentation is fantastic, and I can't wait to bring you this nice in-depth review. I'm going to be showing you all the different looks I can put it in, and we're going to have some fun. I'll put some pictures and clips on Instagram at DeanKnight333, and I'll be able to use some Nirvana stuff on that, so you can get the full effect on Instagram. But I really hope you enjoy this review, folks. I'm going to try and make it as in-depth as possible and give you the definitive look at the piece. So please drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done already, and follow me on Instagram at DeanKnight333. Enjoy the review, folks. Now, before filming the review, I did watch this video clip on YouTube from the show that the Kurt Cobain figure is based on, and that is the details of the video. You got 3 songs from the Roseland Ballroom show in '93, and it will just help anyone who wants to see the accuracy of the piece. You can compare it to the real thing in that clip. Now, one of the first things I did, I put a little hole in the sweater there for the thumb to go through, because I'm pretty sure there was a hole there for his thumb on the real sweater. Also, the sweater seems very accurate, but I will say in person, although on camera it is reading like the black stripes are quite black, they could be a little bit blacker, I think, and I may mod that in time. I know on camera it's looking, very black, but the collar area is very black, but the actual stripes have kind of a faded black look to them. And just from every reference picture I've seen and the footage, the black stripes on the sweater did seem to be very much just a stark, harsh black. Now, I actually have 2 of these coming, and that was not on purpose. It was, I don't know what happened. I won't go boring you with the details, but I ordered this from 16kit.com. Always had good experiences with them and still have. But then when it was finally released, after paying the deposit 11 months later, I found out that it was time to pay for the figure, which I did. And then I got an email from Kit a week later saying you still have to pay for the figure. And I thought, well, that's weird, let me check my bank statement. And sure enough, I did pay for it the first time. And then he said you still need to pay for your figure. So I was very confused and eager to get it fixed and sorted out so that I could get the piece here as quickly as possible to review it for you. Long story short, Kit says that I actually ordered 2 of them, and I really don't think I did because I was very careful. But yeah, sod it. He said, well, it's on the way now anyway, both figures. He sent them separately, so I got this one today, and I guess another one's going to turn up in a few days. He said they're all sold out everywhere, so you might as well just keep the second one and sell it later on, because I'm sure it will be quite a hard figure to come by. I do agree with that. I think it will be quite a sought-after piece. So I've actually got 2 on the way. I may keep the second one because I want to repaint one of the guitars in that Sky Stang one, I think it was called. I'll show you a picture of it now. Yeah, so that's the guitar Kurt Cobain really favoured during this period. And seeing as I have 2 figures on the way, I might try and repaint the second guitar this colour. Bit nerve-wracking, but I'll give it a go, because I really would like to have that guitar with the other figure. And also, if I could just find a black cardigan, take this sweater off the second one, leave the white t-shirt and the jeans and the Converse sneakers, and I could get him looking like the MTV Live and Loud show. Have one head sculpt on one and the other head sculpt on the other. So I'll let you know all about that in the future. So once this review goes up, there will be some more interesting videos coming up on this piece. But either way, ended up with a second one on the way, so it is what it is. Ended up spending way more than I wanted to, but I'm sure it will all work out in the end, and I can always sell the second one. Maybe make a bit of profit in a couple of years. We'll see. So for the accessories, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hands in total. And with the pre-order, you get the glasses, which is really nice. The guitar is very well done, although they couldn't get the license for the Fender logo, so they put Bender on the headstock there, and that's a bit unfortunate. It's a bit awkward, but I don't know. I don't think I got the skills to go in and try and correct the headstock with the name there. Probably just have to leave it the way it is. It's a little bit frustrating. If I could just change that B to an F somehow and make it look natural. Strings are really nice, very thin, be very careful. Seen some very all over the place strings in other pictures and clips, so I'm going to try to keep the strings in place. But the guitar is really well done. The strap is a nice material. It's not some kind of weird faux leather that's going to perish over time. You should be fine with the guitar strap. Also comes with a guitar stand, which is very cool. Now the bass is excellent. However, I would have preferred just a stage with some pedals that he could be posed to look like he's about to step on his DS1 or DS2 distortion, all those electro-harmonic delay pedals and the chorus pedals at the flanger, all that cool stuff. He even had a grunge pedal at one point, I think, which I had. It was a noisy piece of kit. And the Rat. I still have my Rat pedal, the distortion pedal. It's a sturdy thing. I dropped that on my toe once and almost broke it. Anyway. You get a cool... I don't think this is metal. I really don't think it is. I could be wrong, unless it's some weird kind of really thin metal, but it does bend, and it does feel kind of cold to the touch, but I think it's plastic, basically. But it is a nice little touch to have that. You got the spare head sculpt with cigarettes. You get 2 cigarettes, got one in the mouth here, and the other one he's holding on there. The mic stand is excellent. That's metal for the most part. Some of it's plastic, but the main bulk of the mic stand is metal, and it's really easy to assemble and looks fantastic. You do get the backstage pass, but there's nothing on it, so I might have to do what other folks have done and try and print the In Utero logo for that in the future. And what else? I think that is it. You get an instruction book, and it's nicely presented. It's got the same picture on the front of the box here, and yeah, nice accessories. But I do like the bass. It's a bit busy for me. I would have preferred just a kind of dirty stage with a place for the mic stand to go, and then in front of the mic stand a nice row of pedals, because I really like the idea of having him posed with the guitar with the foot about to step on the distortion box. But maybe in the future I can work some kind of custom bass out for him. Oh, another thing about the guitar is on the guitar neck the fret dots are in the wrong place, but I don't know, they're there, they're just not in the right placement. But it does look really nice. I think it's all plastic and wood. I have yet to actually physically inspect this section here, the bridge and where the controls are. It looks like that's metal, but I would be surprised if it is. I'm going to find out for you now. Yeah, it feels like plastic, those metal looking sections. I'm pretty sure it's plastic. It doesn't feel cold to the touch. And I'm not sure if this actual colour of the body is accurate. It seems a lot more red to me in the pictures on stage, but then again that is a totally different situation with the lighting. Still, very nice. Now, we'll be coming back to the head sculpts throughout the review. I want to get in there early and give you a nice look at this main head sculpt here. It's absolutely incredible work. Definitely one of the most realistic head sculpts I've seen in 1/6 scale so far. It's right up there with some of the very best work I've seen, especially from Blitzway. They did an amazing job on their Tyler Durden figure, but I thought the skin tone was a little bit darker than it should be, but this is really, really on point. The work on the eyes is quite amazing. The structure of the face seems really accurate. I think the stubble could be a little bit stronger, but I can't really complain because it does look very well done. And the hair is excellent as well. I turned it slightly more to the side. The length of the hair is pretty on point as well. Maybe could be a fraction longer for this particular show, but again, very much a nitpick. And I could be wrong. But a very, very strong likeness from this angle also. And the hands are very nicely detailed. You see the ring there. But let me know what you think in the comments. I think this is very much a home run. And stubble actually looks pretty strong from this angle. different tones to the color of the hair. Very nice work. And just turned it to the front. Yeah, I really like the skin tone. It's quite pale, but there is a lot of detail on the skin. I can only get so close before it starts to blur up on me, but you can see eyelashes as well. Yeah, that is ridiculously good. Now take a look at the front view of the sneakers here. The weathering on these is incredible. Absolutely incredible. And the laces are, I think they're sculpted, but they're separate from the shoe. They're not just part of one bulk sculpt. So there's a little bit of movement there and a little bit more separation, realism. Now I think they've changed it, you know, for copyright reasons, but I think it's meant to say Fugazi on the sneakers there at the front, which is a band you should definitely check out. My favorite album from them was Red Medicine. But yeah, really amazing work here, and the way they made the sides or the edge around the base like a fretboard of a guitar, very nicely done. Jeans are also very nicely done as well. I mean, just the detail on them, nice little patches to give it a little bit more, you know, just something to look at rather than just blue jeans. And like I said in my initial My Thoughts video when this figure was first announced, I don't think I would have bought a Kurt Cobain figure if it had been any other look. It's just always been something about the red and black stripy sweater. You know, you see posters or pictures in magazines and it just catches your eye. The colours, you know, the sneakers with the blue, with the red and the black, and the white t-shirt underneath, and the blonde hair, I don't know, and the guitar. It's just, it all works. So when Blitzway announced the 1/6 scale figure with this look, I couldn't believe it, and I just thought, well, I mean, I have to get this. This will just look incredible on a shelf and be a lot of fun to photograph. So they're also doing the unplugged version of Kurt in 1/4 scale. I think that's a statue. I don't know if we'll ever see any more 1/6 scale figures of Kurt Cobain, so this may be our only chance, but maybe not, we'll see. I'll give you my final thoughts and a score out of 10 at the end. But I mean, obviously this is something I think any fan might want to consider getting hold of. I feel they will become quite valuable in the future. I mean, those Fight Club figures by Blitzway are certainly hard to come by now. That's where I will change the pose in a second. I just wanted to mention about the sweater. I mean, even I used to refer to this as like the Freddy Krueger sweater, you know, back in the day. But knowing more now, as you know, being a 1/6 scale collector and having a Freddy Krueger figure, and gradually realizing that the Freddy Krueger sweater is actually green and red stripes, not black and red. This is actually more of a Dennis the Menace sweater to me, which means mischief, and that just works even better with the personality of Kurt Cobain here and the look of the figure. Now, the figure doesn't come with a chair, but if you have one, he will sit in it very nicely, and that looks very nice. Bit creepy, very real. It's freaking me out a little bit. Man, that's the mark of a good figure right there. When you look at it through the camera, and you just kind of, as you're talking, your brain's saying, stop talking and just try and figure out what's going on here. You know, this is 2023, and we have 1/6 scale figures that look just incredibly real. I'm sure there's going to be folks out there who replace the sculpted hair with real hair. I don't think there's any need to do that. I wouldn't do it myself. Maybe I'd consider it, but I just think that looks incredible. Really amazing. Very natural. But that's the chair that came with Tyler Durden by Blitzway. So it is a Blitzway chair, it just doesn't come with this particular figure. And he's wearing socks. So another nice little detail. Well, it seemed like a good time to try the shades, and they're nice and easy to get on, and I think they look fantastic on the figure. It's a very cool looking piece. I gotta save, the final thoughts for the end of the video, but I mean, it's obvious that this is pretty much a no-brainer. Maybe this is the beginning of many more icons of music. I'd love to see Slash from Guns N' Roses, and well, we've had Michael Jackson figures for a while from Hot Toys. They've been doing some back in the day, not so much these days, but they did. Beat It, Thriller, Bad, what else? I forget. I always wanted a Smooth Criminal, MJ. I know there's a few third-party ones, but nothing ever looks really good enough for me to bite the bullet and get one. But yeah, Slash would be great. Maybe a double pack with Axl. If they're going to keep doing the grunge thing, I think Chris Cornell would be good. Eddie Vedder from like MTV Unplugged look with the jacket and stuff, that'd be sick. Snoop Dogg, I'd love to do, like a really good, I'm not sure what age I'd want the Snoop figure, probably from around the Doggy Style time, like 93, something like that. Yeah, a Snoop figure would just be sick. Yeah, there's a bunch more. I'm not going to waste your time thinking about that. You can let me know in the comments what you'd like to see. I hope they don't do any more Kurt Cobain figures. I hope this is the only one, because if it was the only one, I mean, they knocked it out of the park. I've got to save it for the end of the video. I'm getting ahead of myself, but I mean, obviously this is just excellent work. Perfect choice for the look. So colourful, satisfying. I'm just thinking about other characters. I know I've seen a Bob Marley figure. It wasn't by Blitzway or Hot Toys or anyone like that. I think it was a third-party company, maybe not official, possibly official. But that was a really nice Bob Marley piece. I think it came with multiple head sculpts and a guitar. Oh, and you've got some Elvis Presley figures on the way. They did make a John Lennon figure a while back. I reviewed that on the channel, but unfortunately, yeah, there were some issues with the company that made it, so that was short-lived. But yeah, it was a decent John Lennon figure. I'm sure I've seen some Freddie Mercury stuff out there as well. So there are quite a few legends out there in 1/6 scale. But this is totally official. I'm not sure, I guess the proceeds or whatever would, some of the money goes to Francis Bean, Courtney, who knows, I'm not sure. But they certainly, everyone involved, it's all on the back of the box, but everyone did such a good job, such good choices made here for every aspect of the figure. It's honestly got nothing to complain about, and I try to find something to, because I do like handing out 10 out of 10s a lot. It's not my fault. I choose wisely. I've been in the game 17 years, and sometimes the prototype images that we base our decisions on, that changes by the time it's released, and they maybe change the head sculpt or take some stuff away or add some stuff. I'm talking about all the companies, really. But no, I mean, I've just been quite fortunate with my choices of figures for the collection. Not always a perfect experience. My recent Hot Toys Robocop 3 arrived with some nasty damage on his chest plate, and I'm in the process of getting that sorted out thanks to Justin's collection and Pop Collectibles. I'm going to try and get me a replacement, so I'll let you know about that in the future. I should mention some of the ladies as well, like not something I'd be interested in, but the 90s period Madonna, I guess, would be a good one from the Vogue sort of time. Cher would look good as a 1/6 scale figure. Sinead O'Connor, be nice to pay tribute to her in the 1/6 form. But I never thought in a million years that the death of Sinead O'Connor would have affected me the way it did. I was really quite depressed about that. Very sad for 2 weeks when I found out she, it's just, I don't know, because my roots are from Dublin, and I just used to go back there so much in the 80s and the early 90s. One year we went to Dublin 5 times because all the family was there. There'd always be bloody funerals or stuff like that. But that was a big part of my memory with Nirvana as well. I remember, because obviously before the internet, and I was only about 11, 12 years old. In between In Utero and Nevermind, we had Incesticide. And I remember one day we were going back to Ireland, me and my mum, and we were just waiting for the flight, and they had an Our Price store, which isn't in the UK anymore, but they used to sell records and CDs, vinyls and tapes and stuff, all music. And I'm just having a look around, and there I see Incesticide on the shelf, like new releases, and I just see the artwork and Nirvana written on it, and I just grab it and I beg my mum to get it for me, and she did. And I heard Incesticide for the first time at my auntie's place in Ireland, in their back kind of extension that they built. It had a pool table in there, and my granddad's old World War II stuff, like helmets and all kinds of stuff. And they just let me go in there, and I just play pool by myself. Every now and then someone would come down and play with me. But I just had Incesticide and Nevermind playing constantly in there when I was on my own, just keeping myself entertained as a 12-year-old playing pool. I remember it was really cold in there. And just memories, man. I very clearly remember walking around the table, taking shots on my own, listening to Nevermind and Incesticide. And just really good times. So young. Where does the time go? It's crazy. Like Frances Bean, I looked that up today. She's 31 now. Way older than her father ever got to be. It's just, time is a crazy thing. For the young folks watching this, you won't really understand, but I'm 43 now, and it all happened so fast. I mean, we don't know what the hell happened to my 30s. That's a bit of a blur. But just enjoy your lives and do as much as you can while you can. Alright, we'll put the figure on the rotating base. I'll get him standing up in a minute. We'll just get a nice straight up forward, just him standing there. We'll get a look at the outfit as it turns, but while he's on the chair, we'll just get some footage of him turning. You can see the detailed sculpt of the hair at the back. We'll check out the proportions. He was obviously, very thin. He was not being too good to himself all throughout those years, so he should be quite a thin figure. I suppose maybe they made a body especially for this piece to make sure it was accurate, and it looks good. I mean, the sweater is obviously very baggy, it always was. Don't know if I mentioned the story of the sweater earlier in the review, but you can look it up on YouTube. It was basically in Belfast, I think in '92, a fan, I think he got manhandled a little bit by security, and Chris Novoselic invited him backstage, and Courtney Love went up and said, "I really love your sweater, can I buy it for you?" For about £35, and he did. He sold it to Courtney, and then Kurt started wearing it. And I don't think anyone knows where this particular sweater in real life is now, but the original owner from Belfast is trying to track it down and get it back, so it comes full circle. Alright, now the figure just standing on the rotating base. I will show you some height comparisons with other popular 1/6 scale figures, just to see how he stands up next to them height wise. I think Kurt was about 5'9", 5'10", something like that. Thank goodness it is much easier to change the hands over on this Blitzway figure than it is on my Tyler Durden Fight Club figure by Blitzway. Those hands are really difficult to change over, but I was thinking I'd probably need to bring in a hairdryer or something to be able to change them over easily. But no, even though it's quite cold in this room, just a little wiggle and they come off, and the other ones go on nice and easy. They are incredibly well detailed, by the way. The fingernails, all that stuff. This is like caustic plastic level detail on the hands, so very well done to Blitzway. We'll get a closer look at those in a moment. The sweater could be a little bit more frayed, a little bit more stringy in places. Seeing as I've got two coming, I might as well weather up one of them and show you that in the future. But proportions seem good. I will take the sweater off in a moment, and we'll get a look at him in just his t-shirt. I think the arms will look a bit, you're not really supposed to see them, so they're probably just kind of like shiny plastic, not very realistic looking arms. But just want to get a look at the proportions, see how thin the body may or may not be. Curious if they did a body specifically for Kurt here. Alright, now I have removed the sweater so we can see the proportions on the body used for the piece. I think it's pretty close. Don't think it looks too bulky. You know, the forearm's a bit muscly. But then again, it could be accurate. I don't know. I've never really paid much attention to the man's arms. But you got the belt there, you got the chain, you got his watch. Patches on the back. They look like Levi's jeans from the little red tag there on the back pocket. Yeah, you're not really supposed to see the arms, so they're not very well textured or detailed, but you do have double bend in the elbow for ultimate posability, which is great. T-shirt's really nice. And overall, from looking at it, I would say it's pretty spot on with the proportions. What do you think? I think that looks very good. I'm just sitting here thinking, with the figures I've accumulated over the years, maybe I have a flannel shirt on one of them that I'm forgetting about that I could borrow for the figure here. Doesn't that look good though? Even though you can see the joints on the arms pretty clearly, and the skin tone obviously doesn't match the plastic of the arms from the hands, but it's still very, very good. Proportions are excellent. But yeah, I'm just sitting here thinking of other shirts or jackets that I might have in 1/6 scale. There's a lot of figures in storage at the moment. Yeah, I'll have to think about that. If I could just find that black cardigan from the Live and Loud MTV show, then I could set the other one up that I'm getting in that look, because he's already mostly there. You just need a black cardigan for the Live and Loud. Mind you, I think there was something else on his white t-shirt, but that's okay. Not too worried about that. Yeah, there are some cool shirts here that would look good. I think this one that Joaquin Phoenix was wearing in the bathroom scene is quite close to one that I saw Kurt wearing in some interview around 93 or 94. Also, the Clint Eastwood figure has a pretty cool shirt, but I can't get to that because underneath the poncho he's got that vest that I can't undo, so I can't get to that shirt unfortunately. But I'm not going to dismantle the Joker here, but I think that would look awesome with just an open shirt over the white t-shirt on the Kurt figure. Don't think anyone else really has anything I can borrow. Possibly that shirt. It's not really the Kurt style though. Now I will change over the head sculpt for you in a moment and put the sweater back on, but before I do, we'll just get one last look up and down with just the t-shirt on and get a look at the detail on the jeans here. Now, I don't know if that's real denim. I don't think it would be, but you never know, it could be. I'll have to go in for a feel and see what we're dealing with here, but they look very convincing. Belt's really nicely done. I'm going to have a little feel of that as well in a minute, and hopefully it's not that fragile pleather that deteriorates over time. Also is the chain metal. Let's see. Well, I don't think the jeans are real denim. They do feel very thin, but they look very convincing. The belt does kind of feel like that faux leather, which can be problematic over time, but it does feel really good quality. Feels good and tough. And the chain doesn't feel very cold to the touch. It's quite light. I don't know if that's necessarily a real metal chain there on 1/6 scale. We'll just get a nice low angle with the head sculpt turning here before we switch it over. And from a bit closer up. Some of the best eyes I've seen on a 1/6 scale figure. Looks incredibly accurate as it was turning there in the shadows. I'll just bring the camera up a bit. I'm getting really close up now, but this looks amazing. I was just doing some photography close up and I thought, well, I have to try and capture this on film. Move around the sculpt here. I mean, this might be the best part of the whole review. It just looks so real. And that isn't, it's crazy looking through the camera here. Looking into the eyes, the way the light's hitting them. This is exceptionally well done. That is amazing. Just the life in the eyes, and notice on the skin all the little imperfections and just the tiny little, not freckles exactly, but you know what I mean. There's a lot going on. That just looks so much like him. It's insane. Look at that. It is weird. It's like I saw that in other people's videos from about this distance, like head on. I don't know. We just saw when you're getting really close, it's undeniable. See that? I mean, perfect, absolutely perfect. When you get to about here, something happens. I guess it's just, but I would say it's cameras, but I even feel like this when I'm holding it in my hand at this distance. And I was looking at it earlier. And I was like, is there something slightly, you know, slightly not 100% accurate? But no, I mean, you're getting close and you can see it, it's there. That looks perfect to me. Don't know what it is, some kind of weird illusion from a certain distance. But that is unbelievably good. Alright, the head sculpt has been swapped over and the guitar is now being played and it looks phenomenal. Absolutely excellent. Oh, and if you're not using the guitar on the stand, you can use the stand to display the cool card there that comes with the figure. So very, very impressed with how it's all looking. I'll come up with some different poses, hit it from some different angles, put it on the rotating base, and I will put in some height comparisons for you as well. figure does balance very well on its own, although I'd always use the base provided just to play it safe. But good sturdy body, decent joints, nothing's loose or feels cheap, there's a good weight to him. Just got him tuning the guitar a little bit here. Stole that pose from one of the promotional images of the figure that Blitzway released. I always like the look of that picture. And it looks really natural and nice. Now the strings of the guitar are quite loose, so they can look a bit wavy, a little bit like he's just strummed the guitar actually. Like if you just took a picture as he hit all the strings. But yeah, you gotta try and do your best to make them look like they're in line with each other, but obviously, as you can see here, it's not quite worked out. Be interesting to see when I get the second one if it's any better or any tighter. Obviously you don't want it too tight because they could break, but I've had different guitars in the past. I've had the John Lennon 1/6 scale acoustic guitar, that was really well done with the strings, and the Crow figure by Hot Toys came with a nice black, sort of like a black Strat, but that's not what it was. But the strings on that were really decent as well. These are good strings, it's just they are a bit loose, but I understand how tricky it must be to do that. It's not really going to factor into my score at the end. Just got to be careful with them. I'll just put the shades on the closed eye head sculpt. And I don't want to make the video too long, folks, so I will probably just do a showcase video separately at some point with some more poses for you. But I think I've done a fair few so far. I don't want the video to be too long, so I'm just going to wrap up with some height comparisons with other figures, and then I'll give you my final thoughts and a score out of 10. We'll just give you a few close-ups on this sculpt from different angles. I think this one is equally as good as the last. I thought this would be my favourite, but since I did that footage where I zoomed right in on the face on this one and saw just how incredible it is, I don't know, I may actually go with the open eye head sculpt as my favourite, but this is incredible. Very difficult to choose between the two. Well, here is Blitzway Kurt Cobain next to my 1/6 scale Heath Ledger Joker. I'm pretty sure Heath was taller than Kurt, by a little bit anyway, but you got Mischief and Mayhem together. Both no longer with us, unfortunately. And here is Kurt Cobain next to the Sideshow Collectibles Crow Eric Draven figure, Brandon Lee. And again, Kurt is taller. It's quite a tall figure, this one here. It's not really working out with you know, the two that I've tried so far anyway. But I figured these two would be nice to see together. Again, two people who are no longer with us. I'm not doing this on purpose. I'm just picking up figures that feel right. And then as I'm filming, I'm realizing, oh, okay, they're both gone. Damn it. And here is Kurt next to a Hot Toys 1/6 scale City Hunter Predator from Predator 2. And yeah, it seems like the Kurt Cobain figure is pretty big. So I'm going to measure him now for you to tell you how tall the figure is. Alright, the Kurt Cobain figure is just under 12.5 inches tall. These are definitely some of the best 1/6 scale hands I've seen, which reminds me of something I want to show you before the end of the review here. But I will go on record here as saying these are definitely up there with some of the very best 1/6 scale hands as far as sculpt and detail and paintwork. You can see the work on the nails, the cuticles, the knuckles. Really quite something. This is really impressive stuff. Amazing hands. I'll just let you see what the figure looks like on the shelf, just with the regular room lighting. Really catches your eye. Just lots of colours working together really well. I'm going to have to find a good spot for him. Obviously he can't be up here with the horror icons. And there's Freddy. You can see the difference in the colour of the jumper there. You've got the green and red stripes for Freddy, and the black and red stripes for Kurt / Dennis the Menace. And watch out behind you, Kurt. Big Myers coming in. Just hold on to this head sculpt for a moment, give you a few angles as I turn it. Literally any angle, this one looks incredible, as does the other one. What an amazing job. Yeah, just a quick look at the base before we wrap things up too. You got Kurt's signature on there, although I'm not familiar with Kurt's signature, so I'm not sure how accurate that is, but you've also got something written on the side there. Looks like a Stratocaster scratch plate and humbuckers, pickups and some other details. Alright, so final thoughts and a score out of 10. I have brought over a figure by Caustic Plastic. This is the 1/6 scale Nosferatu that came out this year, and this and Kurt Cobain, I believe, are two of the very best figures released in 2023. This one is just exceptional. Check out the review if you haven't seen it. It's an absolutely incredible piece, also with some of the very best 1/6 scale hands I've ever seen. But the Kurt Cobain figure is right there along with it. Some of the best work I've seen in 1/6 scale in my whole time for collecting, but it's been a great year for the hobby. So folks, I gotta give this a 10. Obviously it's an absolute masterpiece in 1/6 scale, and if you are a fan of Nirvana or you collect, musical icons of history, this is an essential pickup, and I do think it's going to become quite valuable and hard to get in years to come. So an absolutely essential pickup, 10 out of 10. It's a masterpiece, and I think Blitzway have absolutely knocked it out of the park. I hope you've enjoyed the review. Let me know what you think in the comments. Please drop a like on the video for me. It will help more people find the review, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done already, and check me out on Instagram at DeanKnight333. Well done, Blitzway. You did Kurt Cobain justice. Alright folks, I'll see you soon. Take it easy. Bye bye.